And welcome to ONNtv's Mornings with Luann and Tim. Hop day! Woohoo!
Muggy. Well, you know what?
Oh, boy.
But you know what, Luann? It's actually not as bad outside as it is in our studios. Our air conditioner is still broken in half of our building.
Oh,
so
my word.
I'm
You know, you put the makeup on, and then you come
Yes, I
to
do.
work, and it sweats. It just, and then it drips. There's a
Your
puddle
face
of,
is in your cleavage.
I'll never find it now. Now it's in my shoes, is where it's at.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear
yeah.
Luann.
Hey, you know the straws?
the
Plastic straws?
I thought they were a band. No, another one I don't know. I'm so not hip.
You're so not on.
Yes, plastic straws.
Plastic straws. So, like, everybody's talking about how, you know, it's bad for the environment, it's bad for the water.
Killing turtles and fishes.
Well, yeah, sticking like that little turtle had a piece like that long stuck up his nose and couldn't get it out.
I had a straw stuck up my nose back in the 80s.
Yeah, I bet you did. Anyway, they've taken it a step further because there is a group called Ocean Trash.
Ocean Trash?
Ocean Trash.
That's the name of a band.
Uh-huh. And they say that even worse than straws, what do you think is the worst
Plastic bags.
polluter? That was the first one.
Oh, okay.
Pardon me.
So plastic bags, then straws, then there's something else?
There's something even worse.
Even worse than straws?
Even worse than straws.
It's in the ocean?
Yes.
Oh, this is a hard one. Go.
60 million cigarette butts. Because the filters don't break down.
Don't,
So
of
they've
course they
actually
don't.
found that in 70% of the birds that they tested and in 30% of the sea turtles, they had some of these microplastic particles in the birds and in the turtles.
Can I tell you that I've seen some pretty... I recall on more than one occasion watching this. You're at the beach, birds are coming down, people are tossing things to the birds, the seagulls come down. I've seen people actually throw lit cigarette butts
What?
waiting for a seagull to come and pick it up and burn its little beak.
You're kidding. Lit?
Lit! Just to be mean to the birds.
Like what did that bird ever do to you? What?
Probably crapped
Did he
in the
poop on
windshield,
your
but
head?
still.
Yeah.
If they
me
poop on
too.
your head, that's good luck. If they poop on your windshield, that's
Yeah,
just
tell
annoying.
me that when I'm washing my hair for the 14th time.
That's what they say. They say if a bird poops on you, it's good luck. But if
Really?
they poop on your car, it's just it can burn the acid right off the. Right
Oh,
off your,
I've had that done.
Yeah.
I used to have a little red car. They loved it.
It dissolved.
Yes, it just like smoking, steaming in the parking, in the driveway.
So
yeah.
so please, people, don't throw your cigarette butts in. Well, nobody. I don't want to swim with your cigarette butts floating around me neither.
Well, you think about it though, right? What's in a filter? It's
It's
little chunks of stuff to
non-decomposable.
filter.
Yeah. No, terrible.
Yeah, so don't throw your cigarette butts around.
Hey,
Bring them home.
Speaking of water, there may be a water war going on in Chile.
Yeah.
Okay, you never think about this. You think about, electric cars, they're good for the environment.
Sure.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are. But guess where you have to get, and cell phones and laptops, where does the lithium for the batteries on those things come from? It comes from aquifers. Certain water that feeds certain mines. So in Chile, there's this really dry desert, and under the desert, there's this water, and it contains, floating in that water, like is suspended in that water, is 1/3 of the world's supply of lithium that we use for electric car batteries, cell phones, and
In Chile.
Yes, but they're having major issues now with water shortages because there's been no regulation on who can use the water and stuff. And this same, oh look, Michael, how did you find that picture? Amazing. So there's, underneath, the aquifer also feeds the copper mines, and they
Right.
need water for mining.
Right.
So now the government is saying, we got to start regulating this stuff because we're going to run out of drinking water, we're going to run out of water for mining, we have to start regulating. And so now there's this whole thing about 1/3 of the world's supply of lithium is at risk because Chile is going to start.
Really?
So here you are trying to be environmentally conscious by driving electric cars, but at the same time, you're using up this precious water supply.
So this water
We're
supply-
stuck, people, we're stuck.
This water supply is under the
Under
desert.
the driest desert.
So they have to dig down, obviously.
Well, I guess it comes out somewhere because it connects to their copper mine.
I think it comes out in McCarroll.
McCarroll Lake?
Yeah.
Why? Is there a lot of lithium in McCarroll Lake?
know.
I don't know.
It's
All I
got to
know
come out somewhere.
It's got to come out somewhere. I'm glad you're not a doctor. Anyway, I just thought that was, the things you learn when you actually
Yeah.
pay attention to the world.
Yeah.
I
It's
never
weird
did
how that
before.
works.
I
Huh, Tim?
know.
I'm just saying, hey,
You go.
Trump's latest.
Oh my gosh.
He's so mad. He's so upset. Google is conspiring because
When you
anybody Googles him, it's all negative stuff.
yeah, none of the good stuff he does comes up
None
on
of the
Google.
good things that he does.
How do you think that is?
So he's like, he tweeted about it.
Oh
He's
yeah, he
ticked
said that
off,
it's
man.
fixed. He said it's
Yeah.
rigged.
It's rigged.
Yeah, search engines
Everything
are
is
rigged.
rigged.
Everything's rigged against him.
Everything is rigged against Donald Trump.
Yeah.
you imagine
And
that?
then he goes to negotiate with Mexico, and things seem to go well,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and says it again. Mexico will easily pay for the wall. He
Yeah.
said it again.
Today or last night.
Last night I saw
After
it.
he threatened Canada, who just got back to the negotiating tables yesterday and said, you have until Friday. And if you don't play nice, you're not in
25%
on it.
tariffs?
Yeah.
He's threatening 25%. You know, Donald, we figured you out. You're a bully and you're not telling the truth. You're a liar and a bully.
there.
Look, there's the liar and the bully with the Google behind him.
Google him, you'll see.
You know what?
Liar,
No,
bully.
it's absolutely incredible. And then somebody from Mexico, I don't know, he was not the president, but somebody important, maybe
Mm-hmm.
an ambassador, tweeted, "Nuh-uh, we will not ever pay for that wall." He's got to watch himself, you know.
Well, you know.
Then the negotiations aren't even set yet. Like they're still working at it. He's going to threaten that negotiation deal.
Yeah, he is. And with regards to the Canadian position on the NAFTA negotiations, we're, as I said, just back at the table. Apparently, it might not be legal for him to even insinuate that he can exclude Canada from this deal, because that's what he's doing. Oh yeah, Mexico and I, we're buddies. Yeah, we got it all set. So Canada, you better follow suit. Apparently, because NAFTA is a trilateral contract, apparently legally he can't. He can't. So maybe that's why he wants to change the
But
name
also,
of
I
it.
also heard that Congress, he doesn't have the power.
Yeah, no,
Congress
no.
has to do it.
No.
So-
Congress it's going to go to Congress.
Once
We're
again.
the state's second largest trading partner.
He's a
You think
blowhard.
Congress is going to go? Yeah.
No.
Let's forget them.
Now, you know where America could follow suit with Canada is the talk of banning handguns and assault weapons in our
Yes.
entire country.
Huge.
I wonder how everybody feels about that.
You know what? It's interesting because there's so many people who are hunters in especially
That's not
I'm
assault
thinking
rifles.
northern.
You don't
yeah.
hunt with handguns or assault rifles. You hunt with rifles,
Right.
not assault rifles. You don't need to have one of those
Well,
high-powered,
exactly. That's the point, right?
rapid-firing things for hunting.
But see, what the problem is hunters sort of resent it because if there's such a thing as a long gun registry, now these hunters who have been taught, hopefully, in their lives to be conscientious gun owners
yeah.
and responsible hunters, now have to take hours filling out this paperwork, and it ticks them off.
Where are we with the long gun registry? It was there, then it was gone. Is it still gone?
I think it's still gone.
Sonny says this. Hi, Sonny. Sonny Spina is coming up on
Is
the
it
show
gone,
later
Sonny?
on. The long gun
Okay.
registry is still gone, but I think that some
Well,
people
you
can
better
talk
put
about
yours
bringing it
down
back.
then. Sonny, drop it.
Sonny gets to keep his handgun.
Yes, thank goodness, because
Yes.
we need police. Absolutely.
Police are here to serve
Yeah.
and
So why
protect
is Sonny here?
Sonny's here to talk about back-to-school safety.
Oh, good.
Well, you know, school buses are coming back to the roads now. Pay attention, people. Also, crosswalks. Also, texting and walking. There's a lot. I'm not going to talk about everything because Sonny will have nothing to talk about, and we'll just sit here and stare at each other, which is nice too because he's got big brown eyes. Anyway, no, we're going to talk about back-to-school
He's
safety.
over there blushing right now.
I know.
He's just like,
No. I said I was sitting by the window this morning, and he said it's not that hot in your green room. I said, oh, it is when you're wearing a suit and tie. It's so hard being pretty. And he said, it's not that hard. I've been doing it for 38 years.
did he?
Yeah.
Right on,
Yeah.
Sonny. Plus, with the vest and the gun,
That's what
and
I'm
the,
thinking.
and, you know, like the guy looks
Oh, I
like
know.
all police officers look like they walk like that. It's got to be really warm.
Sonny Luann says you're fat.
No. Your arms are all because you have so much equipment on. That's what I meant.
No,
Stop
it's 'cause his
it.
muscles.
His muscles, yeah, and the
Yes,
equipment,
that's what
both
it is.
combined.
It's his muscles. Anyway,
Throw it to
then we
break.
have. No, I'm not throwing to a break. I'm not done talking about who's on the show yet.
All
You're not the
right.
boss of me.
All right.
So then after
You
Sonny,
got your cue, eh? You know that.
I know. He said cut.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. You know what? You want me to go away and not talk? We can. You have to stay tuned. Sue Aquatics is coming up, and so is a tape with Riley interviewing other people about back to school.
Ooh,
Please
awesome.
stay with my bossy partner Luann and I as we come back with much more on Mornings with Luann and Tim.
Now, next time you better do it.
Happy Hump Day, Sonny Spina.
How are you? Good to
I'm
good to
really
see you.
well. Thank you for coming in this morning to talk to us about back to school, because it's right around the corner.
Absolutely. It's like a week away, I think.
I know.
It's-
Well,
yeah.
what date do they go back? The 5th? or something
Yeah, I
like
think
that?
it's the 5th. Yeah, the 4th is the holiday, so
Yeah,
we're back on
oh.
the Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about what kids and parents need to be aware of now that that time of the year is back again.
Yeah, you know, there's when we talk about back to school safety, there's so many different topics that we can talk about. But one of the biggest things that I like to talk about is really road safety and everything that is around road safety. Because I mean, you have vehicles, pedestrians, cyclists, you have all kinds of things on the road, and we all need to work together to ensure that everyone can get to their destinations safely.
Right. So let's start with the school buses.
Yeah, school buses are important, right? Like we haven't seen them for a couple of months on the roads.
You kind of forget sometimes.
You do, right? And then you see that big chrome yellow bus going down the road. And it's really important to realize, I mean, first of all, the precious cargo that's on board, you have to make sure that you recognize that, you know, there's a lot of kids on there, right? And it's important to give them some space. They're bigger vehicles and they need room. They need room to negotiate through traffic and to make turns safely. And when you see that stop arm come out, you see those lights flash, you gotta stop. It's actually, I forget exactly what the fine is, but I know it's like 6 points on your license if you fail
Holy
to stop for it.
smokes.
It's a really serious, really serious offense.
Like you said,
Yeah.
precious cargo. You're talking about these, and the other thing is, when these kids are going back to school. You remember, you think about it, when you go back to school, excitement, you're seeing your friends,
Yeah.
or getting off the bus, you can't wait to go home and tell your parents what you've experienced, or you just hate school so much you can't wait to get home.
Yeah.
But no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not on there. A lot of the kids aren't thinking in that first, especially in that first week. And then some of these kids have never ridden school buses before.
That's right.
So.
And that's why our buses are equipped with things like the stop arm, the flashing lights, and the large arm that comes out and blocks traffic kind of in front of the bus. That's why our buses are equipped with those things, because we recognize that kids aren't always thinking as clearly as they can be about safety, because they are excited. They really want to get going. They really want to see their friends. They really want to get to school. So that's why those buses are built like that. It's for safety. So we need to make sure that we acknowledge all of those safety features and that we obey those signs when they come out. It's really important.
And what about bicyclists?
Now, you're after my heart when you talk about cyclists
I
here in the
know,
city.
Sonny's a huge cyclist. He was telling me before the show, he's covered over about 5,000 kilometers in this 1 year riding your bicycle.
On the roads.
On the roads alone. Then you got the trail bike.
Then the trails, the trails are a lot of fun.
So tell me about bicycle safety, what we need to keep in mind.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time this summer actually talking to a lot of kids in a lot of different programs about cycling and bike safety. And of course, the number one thing that we always talk about is helmet safety and how to use a helmet properly. So parents out there, we want to make sure that you educate your kids. Talk to your kids about how to wear your helmets properly, about why you need to wear a helmet, and make sure it's just not flopping around on their head. Make sure it's on there secure. It doesn't have to be tight to the point where it's restrictive, but make sure it's tight and secure on their head so that it's not falling off. That's always number one. Number two, we really want to encourage parents to help educate their kids on traffic rules. It's important for everybody on the road to learn how to share the road properly. Now, bicycles, although they're not a motor vehicle, they are still a vehicle. So vehicles, any vehicle on the roadway has to obey all of the traffic laws. That means stopping at stop signs, that means stopping at red lights, that means driving in the proper lanes of travel. So one of the questions I get a lot is, well, I'll just drive on the sidewalk, it's safer, right? Well, we do have a bylaw in Sault Ste. Marie that says anybody over the age of 10 cannot drive their bicycle on the sidewalk. Now, certainly if you've got a child and you're trying to teach them how to cycle properly and you're with them on the sidewalk, you're not going to be ticketed for that because you're trying to teach your child. But if you have someone who's 12 or 14 or 15 years of age, they can't be on the sidewalk. They have to drive on the road, ride their bikes on the roadway with traffic and obey all traffic laws. The next thing they have to do is signal. Everybody on the roadway has to signal. Now, bicycles don't have flashing lights to signal, but we do have arms, and we can have our arm signals to tell people what we're doing. The reason we don't want to see a lot of kids on sidewalks, what are those big things that connect to sidewalks? This is something I always talk to kids about, and they all jump to their feet and say, driveways. And you're right, it is driveways. And we know that in the mornings when kids are going to schools, that's the same time that people are getting out of their driveways to go to work or coming into their driveways because they've forgotten something at home and they had to come back quickly. So we want to make sure kids aren't crossing those driveways while people are coming in and out of them. It's really important.
So are there, do schools offer bicycle safety training? Do you go into the schools? Does anybody go into the schools and talk about this at the beginning of the year, or is it just in the summertime you've run those clinics? Because I know you've done that stuff over the course of the summer, but does it continue on in the school year?
Yeah, so a lot of schools do help their kids with that. Now, I did that at a lot of different places throughout the summer, and it was great. A lot of kids had some great responses and learned a lot of really, really great stuff. But I really think it starts at home. It starts with the parents at home, teaching their kids what traffic safety is all about and how to obey the traffic rules.
And now, with this day and age, with the internet, there are so many videos you can find on YouTube. Sit down with your kid and just look up a video on bicycle safety and learn all those basics about the helmet, how many fingers for each thing and how it should fit, and also the rating of the helmets. I mean, that's some of those. Don't put your kid out on the street in a helmet that isn't certified for bicycle safety. No stickers on the helmets because that reduces the friction. That reduces the amount of friction. No, it causes friction. Stickers on a helmet, not a good idea. It causes friction and it can jam your kid if he happens to fall off his bike. So there's all kinds of stuff you need to learn about. Algoma Public Health does a lot of stuff on bicycle safety too. I know that.
Yeah, and you know, I'm pretty sure if you Google Sonny Spina videos online, you'll find a
really?
video. I guarantee you'll find a video of me somewhere doing that.
And lastly, I want to talk about texting.
Yeah.
Texting and walking, because pedestrian safety, and a lot of these kids are going to be on their phones, talking about what they just experienced that day, talking to their friends. So go.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do spend a lot of time talking about distracted driving, and that's important. But yeah, in this case, we're talking about what I call distracted walking. A lot of folks head down, and I've seen it, you know, walking into traffic or walking into a roadway because they're either texting or sending a social media message or something like that. We want to make sure when you're crossing those roadways, your full attention is on that roadway. You know where you're going and you know what's coming.
And headphones, please be careful with headphones. Kids, you know, you're not going to really hear a car horn. You're not going to hear traffic coming, whatever, bells ringing, bicycles, even that, you know.
Absolutely, so. Be aware of your surroundings,
So for any of this kind of information, so Sonny, you said you're on YouTube?
Oh, I'm sure you can find me somewhere on there. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on there.
He's a celebrity. Thanks a lot again for coming in.
Perfect, thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
So be safe out there, folks. And when we come back from commercial, Riley did a really great interview. She talked to some folks from the ADSB about getting kids ready to go to school. The little ones who maybe have never been to school, who may be a little bit nervous, and just about mental health and preparation. So we're going to run that interview after this brief message. Stay with us for more Mornings with Luann and Tim right after this.
Today's guests are Daryl and Blythe. So Blythe, you are the service administrator for Early On Child Center.
I'm the early years
system
administrator. That's okay, for the Algoma District School Board.
The Algoma District School Board. And Daryl, you're a mental health lead with the Algoma District School Board. So you guys have a lot of experience in working with, dealing with children and their mental health, which is actually becoming a more emerging topic that people are talking about. Before, not so much. Now, you know, people are starting to come to terms with the fact that children have mental health needs as well. Absolutely. So September's right around the corner. So that's a stressful time for parents and children. Blythe, are you able to tell me a little bit about how parents can adequately prepare their children for starting school, maybe for the very first time?
Sure, I can talk about that a little bit. One of the things that we do to help parents and children get ready to school is we offer the Welcome to Kindergarten program back in the spring. So parents and children may have had an opportunity to already visit their school, visit their classroom, have a school bus ride, and hopefully they've had the opportunity to do that. If not, we encourage them to call their school, maybe the week before school starts, reach out to the principal or secretary, see if they can get a tour of the school, just to feel what it's like before they arrive on the first day.
A little bit pre-prepared. Yeah. And Daryl, what kind of services and tools are in place for children that might be having a more difficult time at school?
Lots of things. We certainly recognize there's lots and lots of pressure for kids coming to their first day. And some of that pressure they put on themselves, but a lot of that pressure comes from parents as well. As parents, we're guilty of putting a lot of expectation on that first day. And sometimes a lot of sort of managing some of those early first day anxieties is paying attention to our own anxieties about our kids attending school. So just being a little bit mindful about, you know, what those inner voices are telling us about that day, what our worries might be, but also paying attention to our own experiences as a child going to school, because some of us had great experiences and some of us not so much. And that could be playing out a little bit too prior to that first day. So we want parents to be really encouraging, set some realistic expectations, because every child starts that first day in a different way, right? And we have very, very trained staff on site that are ready to receive the children coming in.
Right.
They're there to support them, of course. They're there to answer questions from parents. Hopefully a lot of that sort of preparation work has happened already.
Yeah.
But if it hasn't, that's okay. We certainly have staff that are there to greet and provide all of that support. And if things aren't going so well, we've got lots of support within the school that we
Right.
can help with, but we also rely really heavily on our community partners as well.
And what are some of those community partners?
So Algoma Family Services
Okay.
is our lead mental health agency, children and youth mental health agency in town. So we certainly have access to a lot of their staff
Great.
that come into our schools, provide support. Also agencies like Thrive, Community Living Algoma. We have, what other supports are important for those early years? Can you think of?
Well, sometimes we work with infant development
Infant
with Algoma
development.
Public Health.
Yes.
So there's lots of resources locally
Absolutely.
right here that are available. Blythe, are you able to speak a little bit to, because we've talked about, children and their needs, but what about parents that might be struggling to kind of let go and let their children go? Do you have any tips? Do you work ever with parents specifically, or is it more so just with the children?
Well, we always work together with the parents
Right.
and the children. So it's about, practicing saying goodbye maybe in the first couple of weeks before school starts, practicing leaving them with a caregiver or a friend and saying, we're going to say goodbye and I'm going to be back to see you in a little while, and then picking them back up so the child knows that the parent's coming back. And the parent knows how to say goodbye in that nice, calm, reassuring way. And it's really important that the families work together with the team, with the
Right.
teacher and the early childhood educator, because they're going to help them through that process of because it's sometimes hard to say goodbye to our little ones on that first
for
day.
sure. I can only imagine. And then, Daryl, a question I have for you is, what specific tips do you have for children that might already be experiencing or be a higher anxiety child that's now going to school for the first time?
Right, and that does happen. I think it's really important for parents to talk to their kids about those worries. If we're able to isolate what those worries are, so much more powerful for us, because we can use that information to help. So
Right.
some of them, for example, might have fear of getting lost. They may have fear of using the toilet for the first time at school, what that might look like. So once we know what those fears are, we can assist the child in a really gentle way, seeing what some of those routines are at school so that they're not so concerned about that. We know that there's a lot of change happening on that first day. So some sort of the mental health hacks around this would be for parents to pay attention to some of the things that they might be able to include in the routine prior to getting back to school. So getting back to that sort of good night's sleep, getting up a little bit earlier, getting up with the sun if possible, and then being prepared to be at school. Some great hacks around, we spoke to some of our experts at the board office prior to the meeting today, and some wonderful ideas around lunch kits. So for a lot of kids in JK, they've never used a lunch kit.
Yeah.
So, practice with the new lunch kit. Bring it out, have a meal or a picnic together, and practice opening up Ziploc bags, opening up thermoses. The other thing that's kind of maybe a little bit different than what happens in most homes is our lunches. We have 2 lunches.
Right.
It's a balanced day.
Right.
So there may be some conversation with the student prior to school about what foods are eaten at the first break and second break, and the parent may have some preferences around that. So, and there could be some labeling involved. The children that are really experiencing a lot of anxiety, we want to reassure them, of course. We don't want to spend an inordinate amount of time talking to them about those worries and fears. So we want to have the conversation, try to talk about, don't dismiss it. It's really important, those feelings. So we want to, encourage them to express themselves. And indicate, it's probably pretty normal to be worried, and that's okay. Mom, dad, or teacher, or grandparent, or a caregiver will help support along with the teacher, and we'll do everything we can to ensure that you have a great day that first day.
So it sounds like communication and creating a routine are some of the key themes that we've talked about. Absolutely. I want to thank you guys so much for coming in and taking the time to share with us a little bit about what you do in a day and how parents can prepare their little ones for that big first day. So thank you so much.
Oh, great. Thanks for having us.
All the best in September. Thank you. And we'll be back with more news after this.
I'm awake now. It's Giveaway Wednesday from Best Buy. Best Buy they are so good to us.
They really are. They're awesome.
Anthony Alfano, thank you, Anthony, and all of his amazing Geek Squad staff down there. They take good care of us here at ONNtv. And so what have they done for us now?
So actually, if you go into the store today, it's a VIP sale.
Ooh.
So
Good timing back to
it's
school.
only for one day. That's right. So he says one lucky customer is going to be presented with a $100 gift card.
Love it.
Just for walking into the store.
How do you
This
know which one
morning.
it's going to be?
They're going to decide.
Are you for sure?
Yeah. So then, because they're so awesome with us,
They
have given us a $100 gift card.
So you can win without even walking into the store as long as you're watching
Yes.
ONNtv.
On TV.
And if you aren't watching ONNtv, God, there's no point. You're not even listening to me right now.
Yeah.
Tell your friends about us, please.
So today's the VIP sale. So you know what? If you get this, go shopping. Back to school, perfect timing. Can you pick a name?
My fingerprints are everywhere.
Oh, I thought you were spitting again.
I don't have spit, remember? I'm saving it up because it's got enzymes that'll do me well when I'm older.
Yeah.
What can spit do for us again? You told
It
me
breaks
yesterday.
down the bitterness in vegetables.
It makes vegetables taste better when you get old
He
spit.
never listens.
Old spit makes it. It's Julie Printess. I wonder if she's related to Austin Printess.
Julie Printess.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Printess. Julie, what did she win? $100?
A $100 gift card, gift card, and you take your card and you go to the site.
And
And this was an online contest that we
oh, it
had.
was. It was an online
for
contest on Sue Online.
.com, which is our parent company. So we get to announce it on TV.
Well,
Mornings
actually, our
with Lou
parent
Annington.
company is Superior Media Sue
You're
Limited.
right.
Sue
You're
Online
right.
and My
Yes.
Algoma are our sister organizations.
Okay. You know what?
Julie Printess,
Congrats. Go
congratulations.
spend lots of
and if
money,
you are
like
related to
$100 bucks.
Austin, tell him I said hello. Yes.
So many passings, it feels like. Neil Simon
What?
passed away.
Oh, Neil
Yeah.
Simon, Barefoot in the Park.
I
and-
know,
oh,
right? So many classics.
Classics.
And of course, Aretha Franklin. And I have to tell you, right?
picture?
She was in Detroit at
Oh!
a big arena there.
Oh, that's my video from when she sang for Carole King at the
Yes.
Kennedy Center
And
Honors.
she was waked at this facility, and thousands of people in Detroit came by,
gold-plated casket,
all dressed in red
open casket.
and fully open, like her feet. Her ankles were crossed, and she was wearing really high red stiletto high heels.
Yes. So
So she went out like a diva, is what her people are saying.
well, actually, and also because you and I both saw. I brought up the image on Twitter and I
Yes.
said, Luann, it's very unusual to see an entire
It is,
body in
yeah.
repose with the bottom half of the casket open. And I said, Luann, look, her ankles are crossed.
Yes.
And you came over and we both sort of went, Then we read the article. It was done purposefully because the funeral director said she's in repose and the crossed ankles gave her a sense of dignity
And comfort.
comfort and also like a power thing, like diva.
Yes.
It was purposefully done, and I'll tell you, it really had an impact on
It
an
really
impact.
did,
And an
yeah.
impact as well.
An impact too.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the whole one of her gospel albums just blaring apparently in the arena facility, and
I actually listened to
it
her
was
on my-
very church-like.
I
Apparently.
listened to her on my pool deck last night.
Did
actually.
you?
I did. I was missing Aretha, and I cranked her
Yeah.
up, and I was in the just
What a voice! My
one of those voices that
word.
you just knew was Aretha Franklin. You could close your eyes.
You really could.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she'd been around obviously for so long. And it was interesting because, of course, they do all the retrospectives, right? So when she was young and all the different looks that she had. You know, she had hair like this, and then she had blonde hair. And so it's interesting.
And
to
her
look
size
back.
went up and down,
Yes,
up
it
and
did.
down too.
Yes,
yeah.
I can relate, Aretha.
And the fur coat thing. Always,
Yes,
she wore that-
always.
And the one clip that we saw, when she stands up from the piano, and as she walks away, she drops the fur
Drops
coat
it.
on the ground,
Yeah.
and then walks away with this gold train
Yeah.
dress,
It
diva
just-
to the end.
Yeah, and awesome, very classy, apparently very, very kind. Someone said too, and the Pips, Gladys Knight,
Gladys Knight.
said that she was actually very shy.
Really?
People didn't know, yeah, but Aretha Franklin was
There's a-
very, very shy.
It's a video clip I saw also just recently, just close to when she died. She was playing, and I think her granddaughter or something videotaped her at the piano in her home, just tinkering away and singing in this little itty bitty voice.
Awesome.
Practicing singing something. Oh, she was Nessun Dorme. Anyway.
All our best.
Bless Aretha Franklin. Coming up, I have the two young members of the Sault aquatic team. The Sault Surge is the name of the team with their coach, and we're going to talk about their experiences and what's coming up in the new year and how the new season, and how your kids can get involved in swimming right after this. Stay with us. Welcome back to Mornings with Luann and Tim and Riley and Elisa and Rod. Okay, so Rod Thomas is the coach from Sault Surge. Yes. You were here last week. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
And now joining me now, let's see, beside me is Elisa Domansky. Hi, Elisa.
Hi.
And Riley Reed.
Hi.
Both of you 16 years old.
Yep.
Let's start with Elisa. How many years have you been swimming now?
8 or 9, I think.
Oh, you started late. You weren't one of those kids, your father didn't like throw you in the pool when you were 3 months old and say, sink or swim? So how did you come to swimming? What made you decide to start swimming?
One of my best friends was signing up, so I kind of did everything she did.
Right?
Yeah.
And does she still swim?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And are you still friends?
Yes.
Oh, that's well, you never know how those things work out because when you start competing. But are you on the team together?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And now you attend Cora.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about this now. NEOR, Northeastern Ontario Region. The R got me. NEOR. You are a championship medalist.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So like, in our region, so like Sudbury, North Bay, and a few other cities, I've won at our championship meet where they all send their best swimmers.
So you were a champion over all those people?
Yeah.
Well, Elisa, smell you. Okay, and 2018 Spring Provincial Championships. Oh, you went to that?
Yeah.
So you were all over Ontario then, not just the Northeast region?
No, that was all of Ontario. I got to swim on relays for our team, so we got to swim for.
Does that mean when you stand at the end and then somebody comes up and then you dive in?
Yeah.
That's cool. I've seen that on television.
Yeah.
That's really team sport then, eh?
Yeah.
Because then you got to try to make up time if somebody was a little bit slower. They got to. And then what else? Oh, you just got certified. Mm-hmm. She's certifiable. As a coach?
Yeah.
What does that mean? How do you do that?
It's a course that you take in a classroom, and then you have like to make up workouts, and they mark you on it. And
Wait a
if
minute,
you're-
make up workouts? You mean you have to design a workout?
Yeah.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
How long is that course?
The course is only about 2 days, and then it takes a couple hours to work through the other stuff.
Anything in the pool, or is it all written? It's all about.
You work in the pool a bit. You don't.
You do?
Yeah.
So who will you be coaching?
Probably our age.
Age group. She, you know what? Elisa is a very versatile coach.
Oh.
I watched her this year when I came into the program, and she helped out with our Future Olympian program and our wave runners, and she's a fabulous coach. And I'm hoping to get her a little bit more involved in the program this year. So, and I hope that when she goes off to university, that she will pursue the coaching and get involved with the local swim club at university for her to pursue the coaching.
Beth Heels, what do you think? Think it's a possibility?
Yeah.
Okay. Good for you. And now let's go to Riley, Superior Heights student.
Yep.
You've also been at the Northeastern Ontario region. You were a finalist.
Yep.
So that means what?
So the first part of the swim meet is heats. So you do like different heats of people, like up to like 16 usually, something like that.
Okay.
And then the top 8 people from all those heats go into the finals.
Where was it held this year?
With Sudbury.
The Dave Kensett Championship, which is a short course pool, which is in a 25-meter pool.
Mm-hmm.
We have hosted it more often than not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in the summer we have what's called the ONNtv Regional Championship, which is combined with Huronia, which is kind of just south of the Northeast region.
Wow, there's
So
a lot of regions, eh?
Yeah, there are 6 regions in Ontario.
Okay.
So the one in Sudbury and one in Sudbury because they've got the long course pool. So Huronia does not have a long course pool, so we combine, and so our regional championships gets pretty competitive.
And Riley, you work at the John Rhodes
I do, yes.
Pool, and you've been helping out with coaching as well?
I have,
Now,
yeah.
you're not certified yet,
I'm
but
not-
that doesn't mean you can't assist,
No.
right?
I still help out with the wave runners and the little guys.
Do you help with the little guys?
Yeah.
What kind of stuff do you do with them when you're in the pool with them?
We do lots of drills and lob kicking, just getting them started on swimming, you know?
Oh, amazing. Hey, tell me, what kind of benefits do you think you've gotten out of being involved in swimming? Let's start with you again, Elisa.
I just learned to work hard and balance time, especially now getting into high school. And like, if you're at the pool and then you get home and you eat dinner, it's like 7 o'clock and you still have to do all your homework.
Right?
And then get up at 5 the next morning. So it's a lot of that's been really helpful with getting stuff
Time
done.
organization,
Yeah.
right? And what about for you? What do you think of benefits, how you benefited?
I found it benefited me more in the dedication region, like dedicating myself to one thing and sticking with it and going through with it. Also with like me doing work too, like showing up on time, staying there the whole time, not slacking off, that kind of stuff.
Right. And then what about socialization? Do you think it helps in meeting people and,
Oh, yeah.
and yeah?
Yeah, in swimming, like we're pretty tightly knit. We have a tight knit group of friends, so I find it's really helped me like in social aspects as well.
And you were saying when people go away to university and stuff from the team, it's always a little bit sad to say goodbye to
Yeah.
somebody because
Yeah.
you've been friends with them for so long.
Yeah.
Fantastic. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the programs that are available coming up and how to register and the different age groups and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So stay with us more with the Sault Surge when we come back on Morning with Lou Ann and Tim. So now let's let Rod talk a little bit since he came all the way in this morning. Rod Thomas, coach. How long you talked to you last week about this? You've been in the Sioux now for.
I finished up my first year, so I'm going
Yeah.
into the being the head coach of the Sault Surge for year 2. I have been coaching 30 years.
30
in the
years.
sport. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And are you really impressed with what you come across here in Sault Surge?
absolutely. I think it was one of the reasons that I came here was the talent here.
The
So,
quality of this.
absolutely. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And now they can start off pretty young, can't they?
Yeah, we like to get them in once they can be able to swim a length of the big pool at the John Rhodes.
Okay, so is wave runners, is that the
primarily-
first level?
Wave runners the first level, so primarily kind of 6-7 years old. We'd like to be able to do, but the key
That's
aspect.
when you started. You were about 7. Okay.
The key aspect is them being able to at least be able to swim in the 25 meter.
25 meter.
25 meters is what we want them to be able to do, and then we work our way towards it.
So 7 to 9-year-olds, what kind of, what level, where will they go with that? What will they be competing? Will they be swimming?
Yeah,
Will they
we'll
be...
get them to try and compete. There's a lot of races that we get in that are just one length of the pool. The great thing
Oh,
about our
nice.
sport is the trick is to always trying to kind of get a little bit better the next time that you race. So there's always that first race that you get, and there's always going to be the nerves, and that's when you see the funny dives and a little bit of the strokes that don't quite look like strokes, but they make it to the end of the pool, and they get their time. And to me, I think it's that second race where a kid kind of goes, wow, I just took 10 seconds off from the last
Right.
time, that you start seeing some progress getting made, and that's the fun aspect of our sport.
Let me ask our two guests here, our swimmers, is it very much, when you first start and when you're training, you're very much competing against your own self, is that
Yeah.
true?
Definitely.
Kind of like in golf, where you're just trying to improve your own game rather than thinking about what everybody else is doing. You're thinking about your own abilities.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Rod, how much time would be involved for a wave runner? If you're 7 to 9 years old, what are we looking at for commitment?
We're looking for 2 to 3 times a week commitment for that.
Okay.
We run practices Monday through Friday at the John Rhodes in the evening for an hour. So it's a fairly easy commitment to kind of get into it. And as we go through the program and you get up, it's basically we're just looking at increasing your commitment by one practice a week as you go through and up the ladder.
Okay, and then now the next step up would be.
The future Olympians.
I love that. The future. We met a couple last week of
Yeah,
this future.
and that's the nice part of it is they've got some skill levels and they're starting to kind of get into probably a little bit more of the workout structure, starting to kind of get in there.
Okay.
They've got a little bit more skills. We're adding in the breaststroke and the butterfly and the kick and a little bit more dynamic stuff with them. But again, we try and kind of keep it fun, and again, the racing aspect is just kind of racing against themselves.
And they get to travel.
And they get to travel a little bit. And
That's fun, right?
That's always
Yeah.
the fun
Gotta love it when you
aspect
get
of
to
it,
go
for
stay in
sure.
a hotel.
Yeah.
And swim in
So,
another pool and
yeah.
meet people from other cities and stuff.
Yeah,
And
for
the
sure.
time commitment for future Olympians.
We're looking at 3 to 4 times a week for them, so just a
right.
step up from the future Olympians.
And then finally, we need to just talk about the age group. This is your another level.
That's basically kind of the foundation where we build the capacity to kind of get in and jump into the senior group. So those are our top 11, 10 to 12-year-old swimmers, and they're doing a lot of work at that point in time, and that's when we start kind of getting some talent identification out of that and seeing where they're going from
So
there.
let's just talk about registration before we have to go to break.
Yeah, you can register online, www.saultsurge.com, that's SAULT. You can register right online, or if you want to come in and register in person, you have some questions. We've got registration Saturday, September 8th.
Oh, that was your mic, Pat.
Yep.
Don't worry about it as long as we can still hear you.
10 to 12 at the John Rhodes lobby pool. And Monday, September 10th, 5 to 7 again at the lobby of the John Rhodes pool.
Let's show the difference in our notes. I have this lovely typed thing that you sent me in an email, and now you show them your notes.
Yeah.
On a paper towel. Elisa really appreciated your notes on the paper towel.
Hey,
Guys, listen, hey, thanks a lot for coming in.
Yeah,
I know now you got busy schedules ahead of you. Have a great season.
Thank you.
And Rod, you're welcome to come back anytime. You're a great
Perfect.
guest, and
Thank
you
you. I
bring
appreciate it.
wonderful young talent into
Good.
the studio. We love seeing you guys. We'll be back with more Luann and Tim right after this. Luann, you want to go for a swim?
Holy moly, it's warm in here. Tim just said, honey, you got to pat her down. I was dewy.
Mama was dewy.
Mama was dewy.
Now, you know what we're going to do now?
What are we going to do now?
We're going to say goodbye.
All right, let's say goodbye.
So, tomorrow is Thursday?
Yes, it is. All day. Yes, I'm looking at you like, what?
Yeah. It's going to be sunny and beautiful tomorrow. But be sure you start our day with us, because we're sunshine in a TV set.
Yes, we are.
See you tomorrow.
Especially me. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.